Thanks for logging on to Wayne.com for another edition of Inside the Zone. Blake Sebring, if you don't remember me, I'm Glenn Marini. I'm actually here this Monday to talk Komets hockey.
It'd be nice to have all those 3-day weekends.
Now, I've been working on special assignment projects, all right? So I couldn't be here on those Mondays.
That's what they're called now.
Yes,
Special
I'm on
assignment.
report, on location.
On report, maybe. I buy that one.
Possibly.
Okay.
It's actually more fun to talk about that than it is to talk about the Komets, because the way they finished the week was not what you would like, considering, you know, they're looking to move up in the standings, maybe get a home ice. But we'll talk about
playing two teams below them in the standings.
Right. We talk about Friday first. A win against Quad City. Petrasso, a great game, a hat trick. Talk about the way he's played and how he's kind of stepped up his game here recently.
Well, that was a great game because Adam Russo, the Quad City goaltender, was just amazing that night. I mean, he was red hot, and he made some saves. I can remember one series against Leo and Sean O'Connor that is like, oh, there was 2 goals. I mean, he robbed them of 2 goals that they should have had, and he was just amazing. But Petrasso was the only one who could solve him, and he got the hat trick. And it was weird because I was talking to him after the game, and it seemed like he was really having trouble handling the puck that night. I mean, when he was trying to carry the puck, he'd lose it or it'd slip off. But boy, he couldn't miss with his shots.
All right, so everyone's feeling good after Friday's win.
Maybe too good.
Yeah, they got a home game on Saturday. You're thinking, okay, we can roll
against
this
the last
over.
place team.
Against the last place team, and Evansville just is the worst team in the CHL this year.
But I'll tell you what, Evansville came to play that night. I mean, they were fired up. They were all over the Komets right from the start. The Komets didn't help themselves. I mean, you could kind of sense in warm-ups that something was off. I mean, they were cocky or something, or they just weren't ready to play. Something was definitely off that night, and you could sense it in warm-ups.
What was the difference late? Because the Komets actually led this game for a while. It was 3-2, and then they give up 3 goals in a little over 2-minute span there at the end.
They had a 5-minute power play. Jeff Christian was called for an elbowing penalty on Frankie DeAngelis, which was kind of interesting because, you know, actually Christian had his arms up complaining to the ref, and Frankie ran into his elbow. I mean, but he should have had a penalty for the play before that where he interfered with Frankie. They had a 5-minute power play, and they played it safe. They didn't try to really force the action down low. They were afraid of giving up the breakaway, which would have tied the game. They had the 1-goal lead at the time, and they lost their momentum right there. They gave up the chances. They only got 2 shots in the 5 minutes because they were playing so defensively. They kept a guy high. They kept one of the forwards high, so they weren't having any luck forcing the puck deep. And they were just playing tentative because they were scared of giving up a breakaway.
And then you take a look at that and you roll everything over to Sunday.
Boy, they got rolled over on Sunday.
Yeah, after a couple of home games, they go on the road to Dayton, and they lose that one by a final of 8-0. When you take a look at that game, everyone has that shock reaction. Oh, 8-0. Are we looking too much into that game, or is that just extremely disappointing, or just a case of everything going wrong, or should we read more into that, saying, oh, maybe this is going to be rough down the stretch?
We'll find out Wednesday. I mean, that's what that looks like to me. Is we'll find out in the first 5 minutes Wednesday how they come out to play, because they didn't obviously on Sunday. I mean, they had the same referee from Saturday night, and that caused a little bit of tension among some of the guys, and Petrasso got kicked out for abuse of officials, saying something to the official. There were a lot of penalties in the game, a lot of 5-on-3s against the Komets. But, truthfully, you or I could have reffed that game, and I don't think it would have made a difference. I just think they weren't ready to play.
Well, you had Kevin Ryder in the goal, who's really been a great number 2 goalie for the Komets.
He's been fantastic on the road, too.
Right, and so you take a look at that, and he's pulled after the first 2 periods. I think he stopped 22 of 28, something like that.
And really, it could have been worse. I mean, he made some really good saves from what I saw, and it could have been a lot worse. It's like he played, but nobody else played. Nobody else showed up.
All right. So let's put that all in the back burner, and we've got 4 weeks of regular season hockey left and quite a few games, 14 games still left on the schedule for the Komets as we head into March. If you're the Komets, what are you thinking heading into this stretch? You're coming off not the best game, and you really got 4 games this week and a lot of hockey in a short period of time over the next month, and you're standing in there at 7th, but you want to get up to 4th because you want that home ice advantage.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem for them looking at that is that they don't play Quad City again, so they can't go head-to-head with Quad City and make a major ground that way. So they're going to have to get a lot of help from people to beat Quad City. And same thing with Wichita. Wichita has been struggling a lot lately. They need help from everybody else now. I mean, if they'd have won both games this weekend, they would have controlled their own destiny kind of thing. But now they need help from other people. They need to get hot, and they need help from other people.